Welcome back to the Backroads Podcast, where we will talk about the adventure within the adventure, Pat and Ashley's road trip across the valley and beyond. I'm Andrew. They need no introduction. They're the celebrities of TVA, the dynamic duo, our very own Thelma and Louise.
I'm thinking Lucy and Ethel, actually.
Paris and Nicole, please and thank you.
As long as neither of them drive off a cliff, I think we can call each other whatever we want. Folks, I think I can speak for all of us when we say Huntsville was awesome, right?
Oh my goodness. What a great time we had there.
It was so fun to be, we had such a blast in Alabama last year. So getting to go back to Huntsville was amazing, but just the city, there was so much going on. I feel like we only scratched the surface of what there is to do in Huntsville.
Absolutely. Could you say that maybe Huntsville's out of this world? ?
Oh, that's so good.
You could say that.
I would say that.
Yeah, I figured if anybody appreciated my dad joke, it'd be Pat. And I truly appreciate the at least fake laugh y'all gave me.
You know, that's what it is. Huntsville was so cool, though. It was such a pretty drive down. Driving down through Tennessee. And then once you get off the highway and into the backroads in Alabama, it's just such a pleasant drive. It's also so much closer than I remember. I always feel like it's so much further, but it's only 3 hours from Knoxville.
Yeah, it's and once again, being from Memphis, it's Alabama seems like a distant wonderland to me.
Wonderland.
Well, 72 is really pretty, like you said. Yeah.
But I did get my dad joke in, but we do have to talk about the Rocket City, right? How awesome was it going to one of our first stops, the United Launch Alliance?
Okay. This was the thing that I was really looking forward to because I think knowing about Huntsville, it's called the Rocket City. You're driving through, you see the Space and Rocket Center, as you're going into the city, these huge rockets. So that's what it's known for. But every time that I've been to Huntsville, never seen any of that. I've just never had the chance. So when we got the opportunity to go to the United Launch Alliance to see where they're actually building these massive rockets that are being, shipped down to Cape Canaveral and out on the West Coast. The fact that they're making that in the valley is so cool.
Yeah, it was truly amazing to learn about that. How many people work there and how they transport. They had one just about ready to go. I think it was leaving the next day or two. And, they explained to us, how they get it on the Tennessee River system, and how they take it either to Cape Canaveral or out to California. That was just totally fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And again, I love that the use of the Tennessee River system for that navigation, something that goes all the way back to the 1930s. I love seeing that that's still, relevant today.
I would think it's hugely important because, the size of these rockets, I wish I could put it into perspective for y'all, but we were in this huge warehouse, this giant facility. And we were on a golf cart. I can't imagine how long it would have taken if we had to walk.
Yeah.
But they have to transport these massive rockets that otherwise would not be able to go on the road. It's that river is allowing this research, these things to happen where we're able to kind of do this. He kind of mentioned it on our tour, and I hadn't really put it into perspective like this, but Pat, I'm curious if you had thought of it in this way. He kind of talked about how we're in a new age of a space race.
Yeah, that's so true. And, all the technological advancements that are being made right here, in the Tennessee Valley region. And, I think back, to the past achievements, and then I think about, as he said, the new space race today. And I think of all those jobs that are coming here. Very high tech jobs, and I think about economic development, what that means to this part of the region. And, it was just a fascinating, I absolutely had no idea that we had that.
Yeah. I honestly felt bad at sometimes because he was talking to us and obviously, he knew everything there was to know. And I'm over here where do the people go?
Right.
I'm like, a rocket is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Not quite just the propulsion mechanism that they go up. But, ULA has done like 150 launches or something like that. They've had like consecutive successful launches.
All successful.
All successful launches.
know.
Yes, that's correct. So
Yeah.
over 150 successful consecutive launches. So being able to see that, the work that they're doing, obviously like the safety kind of measures that they have in place was really cool to see. So again, just all of that being in Huntsville, I think a lot of people, when they think of it, they're, the Space and Rocket Center, or there's Redstone Arsenal. I feel like they're the two big things when you think of it. But just to see that ULA is doing all of this and is just as important as all those other things that I've mentioned in terms of the work and bringing jobs to the area, it's just really, really special that we got to go and get like that level of a tour.
It's just crazy. Like, if you're not super familiar with TVA, it's pretty crazy all the things that we have our hands in, right? Like when you think TVA, do you think NASA? Do you think rockets? No, but we're there helping and making sure that they are getting everything they need. And let's go ahead and shout out our River Forecast Center and all the guys that work on the river, like guys and girls.
River management.
I mean, it takes such a dedicated, smart team to make sure that that is all going the way it should be. And we're taking care of our partnerships down there too.
Yeah, because it's so important. He was talking to us that, you've got to have enough flow. You got to have enough of the river channel that's filled just, and that they work with TVA's river folks all the time to make sure that when they get ready to go out, to transport down and lock through, that everybody is aware and, everybody's working together. And so it's great to see that, that collaboration too.
Absolutely. And, thinking of the scale of which everything is in that place is insane. If I remember correctly, it's 2 million square feet, the warehouse that we were in. That is so hard to wrap your head around.
Right. I don't remember the million square footage offhand, but I remember it was huge. I mean, it's just like an unbelievable space, and they had all these different locations for the different things that they were doing, the different stages of building the rocket. And so, just seeing that was, gosh, it was phenomenal to see how that's done.
Yeah. And the pride in which everyone had down there. Like it was contagious, honestly, to tell you the truth. Like it makes you feel so proud that we play our part in that and that we live in this region too, where, we are moving this space race forward right here in the valley.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and so many technological advancements. I mean, this makes me think of another cool place that we got to go was Browns Ferry. Talk about technological advancements, because, I mean, we got to tour the Flex building, and I know Pat knows a little bit more about that than I do, but I mean, also just in the last few years, they did some uprate work where they were actually adding megawatts to the unit. So just we're still pushing even in our own house at how we can improve things and how we can continue to, improve on power generation or environmental stewardship and all of these things. So it was kind of, I think, tied in really nicely, both places that we got to go.
It really did. And then, of course, Browns Ferry was the first nuclear plant that TVA built. And so this Flex building that we got to go into, one thing that I noticed and that we talked about quite a bit was, it's a backup to the backup of the generation and, to make sure that there's fail safes in place. But, the safety issue of that and how important, we're looking at the health and safety of the communities that we're in the region. And so that was something that I was really glad that was touched on when we were talking at Browns Ferry. It was very hot that day. I have a fun story about
do you?
Browns Ferry. Yes. So I was going to be in the car while Ashley was getting a touch up, and she said, "Oh, turn the air on. I left the keys in there." Right. And it's Alabama.
It's hot.
It's hot. It was muggy. And so I'm there looking for the keys. And, I try to turn the car on. It's a push. If your keys are there, it'll come on. It didn't come on. So I'm like, well, let me look in her pocketbook. So I'm looking, no keys. And I think, I have these, flashbacks when I was a kid and couldn't find anything. My mom would fuss at me. So I finally get out and I was like, I take her pocketbook. I said, I don't know. I can't find these keys anywhere. And she starts laughing. They're on her belt loop.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. So I was able to go back and turn the car on. So thank you.
It was an honest mistake. No, I felt so bad because I was sitting there fussing at her, just like, oh, classic Pat. She forgot the keys. She can't find the keys. She doesn't know how to turn the car on. And no, it was me the whole time. Just, honestly, classic Ashley.
But again, just being at that facility and seeing all the different pumps and types of things that they have in place, that was just an aside that happened. But the building and the experience itself was truly eye-opening, I thought.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, that was my first time at Browns Ferry. Through Pat and Ashley last year, we got to go to Sequoia. So that was really fun. That was actually my first time at Sequoia. And previously I'd been to Watts Bar, just having worked here for so long, but had never had the opportunity to go to Browns Ferry. So that was honestly at the top of my list when we were talking about going to Huntsville. We were trying to figure out what was our cool TVA thing. And I was like, please, can we go to Browns Ferry? Please, 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 because it's such a cool part of our nuclear history.
Absolutely.
And it's our biggest power producer. I mean, it's just such an important part of just TVA.
Yeah.
Right.
And just to see all of that and to hear, again, one of the coolest things that we get to do on this journey is talking with our fellow employees. And that sounds so silly, but let's be honest, there's 10,000 plus people that work at TVA. So sometimes we don't have an opportunity to meet these people. Yeah. But through this project, we've been able to go into all of these plants and, operating rooms and meeting with people, business support, up through plant management, up through VPs and all of these people. But just getting to meet the everyday folks has just been such a joy. And that was the best part.
Not everybody wants to be on camera, but there's a lot of people that help with this. Right. And so, there were people there that just refused to be on camera, but it was so nice, Steve, for your help because, he did not want to be there, Clarissa, Kenyatta, we're the face, but there's so many people besides the crew that we have, but all the TVA folks that when we go visit a plant that help make that happen and show us the best of the best, we really appreciate them. And like Ashley said, it's great to see those folks and meet them and learn what they do and really hear their stories.
Yeah, we talk about a mission of service here a lot, right?
Yeah.
It truly, truly is a mission of service here. Like, what we do, it's almost a duty, right? Like, we are here to provide what we can to the people of the Valley. And it's such a unique position to be in because we live in the communities we're serving, right? It's just great. And, we talked about the sense of pride at ULA. There is a sense of pride at every single TVA location I have ever been to.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, the inter-TVA of it all, everybody's like very proud of where they work. And to be at a company where you can go and see that, it's really special. And it was just a really nice way to kind of have that be a part of this trip. And also just a part of this project is to be able to talk with and highlight these TVA people. Because, Pat and I we are the lucky people who get to do this, but those are the folks who are every day allowing for us to be able to highlight the work they're doing for us, keeping the lights on, bringing jobs in, keeping the river flowing, all et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. And, once again, going back to Huntsville, it's just such a special place. And, not too far down the road is a little baseball field that one Miss Ashley Walker got to show off her 5-seam fastball. Like
7,
5,
all the
12,
seams.
18. It's all the seams. That's all that matters.
They added seams for me.
So how was it? How did it feel to be a closer? Like, you came out there and just took care of business.
I technically was the closer for the first pitches. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to add that to my resume.
Yeah.
It's the scariest thing I've ever done. I thought, listen, I come to Alabama to conquer fears, folks, because last year was the helicopter in Muscle Shoals, conquered that fear. And then this time it was getting to throw the first pitch at a minor league baseball game.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. But I did it, and I apparently did a good job. I feel like I just kind of have no memory of the actual moment, but I've seen a video, and it looked like the ball crossed the plate, so that's all I really cared about.
You showed no fear. Like, I was the one behind the home plate, just like waiting. I'm like, I have so much confidence in you, Ashley. I'm not even going to move. You're going to sink it right down the middle.
It was my cheering you on that did it.
Listen.
So, just so you know.
When Pat is my emotional support coworker. So like when I'm home, I have my cat, Greta. And so I have my emotional support cat at home. And when I'm on the road, I've got my emotional support Pat. And through all things, I can do it. I can do it. But
we talked about it earlier. Pat's all of our emotional support. Like, she really is.
You're just the best, Pat. We love you. But no, I mean, the first pitch was really fun. There were so many, they were having a kids' day that day. So they had teachers and students, and it was such a fun time. I mean, a baseball park. Is there a better place to be?
No, you cannot beat that. I mean, you know, the hot dogs, the characters. We got the astronaut race that we got to.
Hey, we had our own space race.
We did. And okay. But just so much going on. I love the minor league games, and that one, oh my gosh, the Trash Pandas, you know, from the mascot Sprocket that we got to dance with a little bit, got to see.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, we attempted a Cotton Eye Joe with a mascot. I didn't think that I would do that in my life.
I just stood there, but you know, whatever.
Emotional support, right?
Emotional support.
Yeah.
No, Huntsville was such a blast. And I mean, I love going to just all sporting events, but baseball's always so special. And they really, really do a lot for their fans. I mean, it was the whole time there was so much activity. I mean, you kind of at certain points were like, oh yeah, there's a baseball game to watch too.
Yeah, so much going on. And it was just so quick too. Just so timed. So much. Yeah. And the hot dogs, the peanuts.
The snacks.
The snacks are big. I mean, like, there's something special about being at a baseball field. It really is. Like, it's called America's pastime for a reason, right?
Right.
And it was so much fun. And like I said, it's the first time I've been to a baseball game where I got to watch my friend participate in it. So that was pretty cool.
It was my first time participating in a baseball game.
And, you know, we're talking about sports here. We are heading to a town where college football is king. That would be Oxford, Mississippi. Pat, what are you looking forward to most in Oxford?
My daughter goes to school at Oxford. I am so looking forward to seeing her. But besides that, there's this little bookstore. And it's called Square Books.
Ooh.
And I am pretty excited about being able to walk in there. So,
yeah.
Well, I'm a big reader. I did not know about this. So
really?
I will bring my list in my phone with all of the books that I need to buy and get some souvenirs. The best kind of souvenir is a book.
Oh, yeah.
So you've been to Oxford. Ashley, have you been to Oxford before?
No, I have actually, Tupelo was like my first time spending like a long time in Mississippi. Being from East Tennessee, I don't make my way out there a lot. And that was my first time getting to go there for TVA, previously just driven through it. So I'm so excited. I've heard nothing but amazing things about Oxford and just how beautiful that area of Mississippi is. So I'm really excited. And I think that in addition to Oxford, we're also getting to go to one of our gas plants, right?
Yeah, we're heading on down to Magnolia.
Oh, that's
going to be really fun. We had such a nice time last year with our friends and at the gas plant. So I'm really looking forward to getting to see a different side of it.
Oxford is such a cool town. You know, I keep saying I'm from Memphis. I've just got the Memphis pride on my sleeve. I used to come down to Oxford all the time, and it is such a cool little southern town. Like, the people are so nice there. The food is amazing.
I've heard that. I've heard
that like there's like, I mean, we're talking tailgating. Like, I may be a UT fan, Vol for life. I mean, I'm wearing orange earrings now, but I have heard that there's no better tailgating experience than being down in Oxford, being at the Grove. So I'm really excited just to hear that, just to see another part of the TVA area I've never been to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been down to the Grove for a game, and you better be dressed to the nines when you're going there. We're talking
really?
boots and bow ties and blazers at a football game. Once again, from Knoxville, it's like, hey, I'll throw on a t-shirt, pair of shoes. We're good. We're good.
Say,
Right?
I've got a pair of checkerboard overalls.
Right.
I'm
Absolutely.
Listen, East Tennessee Mountain Trash. I claim it.
Well, when we head down to Oxford, I'll make sure we pack some of our finest stuff for our next trip, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll make sure to pack our pearls and
I can do that.
Yeah.
be nice Southern ladies.
Well, that wraps up this episode of Backroads. Make sure to continue to tune in for season 2. You can find us everywhere on social media, and you can download this podcast wherever you want. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.